Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results from June the 8th, 2020. Got birthdays for the week of this week. Birthdays from June the 5th, Kona Reeves, 1992. Priscilla Kelly, 1997. June the 6th birthdays, Ahmed Johnson, 1970. Drew McIntyre, 1985. ODB, 1978. June the 7th birthday, Superstar Billy Graham, 1943. Howard Finkel, 1950. Mick Foley, 1965. June the 8th birthdays, you got Tatanka, 1965. Liv Morgan, 1994. And Dan Severn, 1958. Liv Morgan turned 26 years old. Tatanka turned 59. Dan Matha turned 32, and Dan Severn turned 62. On June the 7th, 2010, Nexus made its memorable debut on the episode of Raw, destroying John Cena and everything at ringside in the process. Led by Wade Barrett, the group originally featured other NXT rookies, Daniel Bryan, Darren Young, Skip Sheffield, Michael Tarver, Justin Gabriel, Heath Slater, and David Otunga. Since today is the 10th anniversary of the group's first appearance on WWE TV, Barrett, real name Stu Bennett, gave his thoughts on social media. 10 years ago today, June 7, 2010, thank you to the other 7 men who helped make it happen. History will be written by the victors, but those who were there to witness it are forever immune to their revision. You're either Nexus or you're against us. As time went by, the stable also featured John Cena, Husky Harris, Michael McGillicuddy, CM Punk, Mason Ryan, but WWE officials disbanded the group in August of 2011. In a separate interview, Darren Young had commented the group was scheduled to make an appearance at this year's WrestleMania, but due to coronavirus, did not come together. Last month, Heath Slater joined Wrestling Inc. daily to give his memories of Nexus. Matt Cardona, formerly known as Zack Ryder, was among numerous WWE Superstars who were cut in April due to coronavirus pandemic as well. But that didn't keep WWE from making a strange request from former WWE Intercontinental Champion on Cardona and former WWE Superstar Brian Myers, Kurt Hogan's podcast, the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. Cardona tells the story of WWE wanting to use his pool for one of their SmackDown segments. I'm sitting by the pool with Chelsea as she has a weird look on her face. Cardona began. She's checking on her phone. I'm like, babe, what's up? She's like, someone from WWE asked me if Otis, Mandy Rose, and the camera crew could come here to film a pool scene for SmackDown. I was shaking in anger. Shaking in anger? You fired me, but you want to use my pool? I had a tweet sent, and I say this sometimes: don't press send. Laughs. It was a don't press send tweet. I was just very like, you fired me, but you want to use my pool? A couple of weeks later, I was pissed. The fact is that they didn't even ask me. They asked her. Cardona then told the second half of the story, where Otis ended up coming over to his place anyway after Miz and Morrison, without knowing about WWE's request, asked him if he could join their get-together. I guess they were taping at the Performance Center on Monday and Tuesday. And my good friends, Morrison and The Miz, they said they were coming over. Cardona continued. They texted me and said, can I bring Otis? So I thought it was a rib because they knew the story. That pissed me off. But then sure enough, Otis shows up. It wasn't a rib. Laughs, listen, I don't know Otis. I don't know who he is. Obviously, I wrestled him. Believe it or not, dude, this guy is pure entertainment gold. I fell in love with this man. Thanks to the Major Wrestling Figure podcast and give highlights also to Wrestling Inc. for the current transcription and the news. SmackDown superstar Tamina Snuka took to Twitter and released a bizarre video which appears to be something done on her own, but that's not confirmed. Video opens with a look outside of a mental hospital. Snuka and then showed inside, wrapped up in a straitjacket, begins her rant. Knock, knock, boom, boom, splat. There's nobody nicer than Tamina. There's nobody nicer than Tamina. She laughs. She continues, 10 years, I have given my life to you, and for what? Nothing. A person can only take so much before they crack. I must admit, I have never been more alive in my life. She laughed some more. Ain't nobody nicer than Tamina. There's nobody nicer than Tamina. Shut up, shut up. I have to go now. The monster's calling. After more whispers in her head, she continued, knock, knock, boom, boom, splat. Next is a whisper. And that is that. The video ended with more bizarre laughing from Snuka, who celebrated her 10-year anniversary of WWE last month. Tamina last competed in WWE Women's Money in the Bank ladder match early in May. She tweeted the video and captioned it by mentioning her Money in the Bank loss. She wrote, after my devastating loss at # Money in the Bank and 10 years of being used and abused, it finally happened. The trepidation. #WWE, #SmackDown, #SmackDown Live, #Raw, #Backlash, #Tamina, #crack, #nobody nicer, #nobody meaner. And WWE has not retweeted Tamina's promo as of this video. Becky Lynch no longer has orange hair anymore. Former Raw Women's Champion posted a photo of this link on Instagram last weekend without her signature orange locks. In the picture, Lynch and her fiancé Seth Rollins displayed a workout that they performed that was dedicated to George Floyd. Becky wrote, #Big Floyd Wad. Today with at WWE Rollins, at Rabby, Hoig, at the Travis Titan, #Black Lives Matter, #Black Power, cleans. Lynch and Rollins are expected together, and she is due in December. Lynch recently told ESPN that she plans to return to the ring down the road. Yeah, it's one of those things where I know what I feel and think as a person without a child. Lynch said, I don't know what that's going to look like when I do have one. That's my priority. I'll tell you, I'll give me more motivation than ever I could imagine. But this isn't the end of me, one way or the other. Charlotte Flair lost the NXT Women's Championship and NXT Takeover in your house on last night. Io Shirai pinned Rhea Ripley to win the title. With Flair not taking the fall, it appears as if she will work a singles match with Shirai in the near future. However, according to a source familiar with the situation, Flair is actually done with NXT for the time being. It'll be interesting to see how NXT follows up with the title change. Wrestling Inc. managing editor Nick Hausman asked Triple H on the post-event media call about Charlotte's future in NXT following the loss. Charlotte always been a Raw talent. That's where she signed and is her own. Triple H said she's been working all three brands lately, which has been awesome. But we'll see. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think in this moment that opportunity just happened. I think we will see where that goes. Triple H also said that the finish was done for a long-term storyline. That finish was done tonight. The way it was done was for a very specific reason. Triple H noted, to me, the whole rhetoric regarding Charlotte Flair and her dad and her name is garbage. She works as hard as anybody I've ever seen. She's a great performer. She deserves anything she's ever gotten and has. This was done for a very specific reason, for storytelling purposes. Hopefully, if we get to tell the story the way we want to over the coming months, 3 or 4 months from now. You'll go. I know exactly why they did the finish they did. Flair is scheduled to face Raw Women's Champion Asuka in non-title action on Raw. Stay tuned for the results from that later on in this video. We reported on Sunday that WWE was filming the Backlash pay-per-view at the Performance Center. I had received word during the Randy Orton versus Edge match that talent were at the Performance Center for the tapings, and then was headed back to Full Sail for that evening's NXT Takeover in Your House event. In an update, WWE only taped the Orton versus Edge match and not the entire pay-per-view. The rest of the pay-per-view will air live on Sunday, next Sunday. I have fixed the original article and apologize for the error. And that's on the Wrestling Inc. According to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio, WWE did attempt to have Edge versus Orton be the absolute best match that they could possibly have. A lot of people were speculating that the match would have a quick finish to troll fans, but that was not the case. WWE now has a week to clean up the match before it airs. According to Meltzer, the match was two very smart workers working very, very hard to have the smartest match that they could under the best circumstances. He noted that he was told that the match was great. The Backlash takes place Sunday. That's June 14th. Always Wrestling Inc. will have live coverage of the event, as well as latest breaking news leading into the show. And you can watch all the pay-per-views on the WWE Network. Elias is currently out of action with a torn pectoral muscle. WWE used a storyline update on Elias this past week, noting that he suffered the tear and broken ribs during the hit and run angle with Jeff Hardy 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. Dave Meltzer on F4W Online now reports that the torn pectoral muscle injury is real, and Elias is on the shelf. It's noted that Elias was written off TV with the angle. Elias defeated King Corbin in a tournament match for the Intercontinental title on May 15th, SmackDown. He was to face AJ Styles in the semis, but WWE did the hit and run angle, and Styles ended up getting a bye. Styles will face Daniel Bryan in the finals for the vacant Intercontinental title on SmackDown. No word yet on when Elias will be back, but it was noted that he will likely be out of action for months. Bar Wrestling, the indie promotion founded by Joey Ryan, revealed on Twitter at this link here how WWE filed a DMCA Digital Millennium Copyright Act complaint with Twitter and had one of their tweets removed. The tweet was linking to a video of current AEW star Brian Cage versus current WWE NXT superstar Jake Atlas, which was from their Volume 29, 4 touchdowns in a single game event on January 31st, 2019 in Baldwin Park, California. Bar Wrestling often posts matches to YouTube once they are 1 year old and on the High Spots Network. A screenshot of the DMCA request show that the links provided to the original work was the WWE website at WWE.com. The request from WWE's DMCA lawyer with the description of the alleged infringement read like this. The tweet is posting illegal links that are not authorized to represent WWE in any way. WWE is my client. They have requested to take down all fake and fraudulent accounts which are violating the Twitter users. Please remove this offending tweet at the earliest. Thank you. Barr reposted the screenshots for fans to see. WWE had a tweet pulled and our Twitter was temporarily locked for posting a link to Jake Atlas versus Brian Cage. But I went to the link there and I actually seen the video still there. I don't know if it's still there now. But Brian Cage, with the footage we we own and using a photo that we commissioned and own. Marr tweeted. Cage retweeted the screenshots and called on fans to support the promotion. New trailer for Money Plane with Hall of Famer Edge can be found on this link. The action movie stars Chelsea Grammer, Denise Richards, Thomas Jane, Patrick Lamont Jr., and Katrina Norman. It will be released on digital platform on Friday, July 10th. That's my dad's birthday. But may he rest in peace. He died in 2003. The Heist flick, directed by Andrew Lawrence, follows Edge's character, a professional thief named Jack Reese, who is $40 million in debt when Underworld Kingpin Darius Emmanuel Grouch, Kelsey's character, offers to forgive the debt if Reese will commit one final robbery on a futuristic, airborne, bulletproof casino filled with some of the world's most dangerous criminals. If Reese fails, his family's lives are on the line. The official synopsis for the film reads like this. Professional thief with $40 million in debt and his family life on the line must commit one final heist. Rob a futuristic airborne casino filled with the world's most dangerous criminals. The woman featured in a decathlon segment at this link on Raw was Catalina Garcia. You can see her appearance in that link about the 2-minute 2:29 mark. Garcia has appeared briefly under a mask alongside Sin Cara last October, but the pairing ended weeks later. Garcia was announced in the WWE Performance Center class last August. And your Raw results. Backlash Go Home edition of Raw on the USA Network opened up with a normal Raw intro video. Live from the tape delay from the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida, Tom Phillips welcomes us to the show. We see some of the NXT developmental talents as fans in the crowd as announcers hype the show. Tom is joined by Samoa Joe and Byron Saxton. First match tonight, Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. We go right to the ring for tonight's opener. Raw Women's Champion Asuka makes her way out for the non-title match. Mike Rome is about to announce Asuka's opponent, but the music interrupts. Out comes new WWE Women's Champion, Tag Team Champion Sasha Banks. Her partner, new WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley, joins her. They head to the ring together as Asuka stares them down. The boos pick up, and Bayley tells them to relax because they should be thanking she and Banks for bringing their star quality to Raw. They go on and brag about winning the titles from Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss on SmackDown. Asuka interrupts, and they go on and says she's not happy. This is her ring. Bayley fires back and tells her to back off. And the music interrupts, and out comes Charlotte Flair, who is all smiles. Flair tells them to enjoy the spotlight, but hurry up because she and Asuka have a match. She goes on, but is interrupted by their Iconics, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Peyton says the match everyone wants to see isn't Flair versus Asuka tonight. It's happening at Backlash on Sunday as the Iconics face Banks and Bayley. Plus Bliss and Cross in a triple threat match. They do their iconic pose, and Asuka isn't happy. She rants on in Japanese. Flair insults the champions and calls them garbage for needing a title. Bayley and Banks suddenly attack Asuka and Flair. Banks and Bayley have words with the Iconics in the middle of the ring. Both Flair and Asuka come back from behind on both teams. They clear the ring and stand tall together as we go commercial. Iconics versus Banks and Bayley versus Asuka and Charlotte. Triple threat tag team match. Back for the ring, Asuka versus Charlotte is now a non-title triple threat. Flair and Asuka stand together, yelling at the Iconics and Sasha Banks and Bayley. The bell rings, and here we go finally. Peyton starts off with Banks as they go at it back and forth. Banks ends up hitting a Meteora, but Royce rolls her up for a 2 count. They collide with drop kicks and both connect as the fans applaud them. They mush each other in the middle of the ring now. They turn and charge, knocking Flair and Asuka off the apron. Bayley tags in for a double team on Royce. Bayley drops a knee on Royce for a 2 count. Royce takes Bayley to the corner, and then comes Billie Kay for a double team. Bayley kicks out of 2. Kay counters Bayley in the corner and nails a big elbow to the head. K with a modified suplex for a 2 count. Flair ends up coming in and forcing K out. Flair backs Bayley into the corner. Fans chant, "We want Asuka," and Flair tells them to shut up. Flair unloads on Bayley with a shoulder thrust in the corner. Tom says Flair versus Asuka will still happen later. Bayley turns around on Flair and tags in Sasha for double teaming on Flair in the corner. Bayley tags right back in for a double team on Flair. Flair fights him off and levels Banks with a clothesline as Asuka tags in. Asuka knocks Bayley off the apron with a hip attack and goes to work on Banks. Asuka with a hip attack to Banks in the corner, then strikes and a running bulldog to the Iconics. Asuka dances around after running wild on her opponents. Who she thinks she is? Hogan? Oh, we go to commercial with Asuka standing tall. Back for the break. Kay levels Asuka with a big boot for a 2 count. Roy tags in for a double team to Asuka for another 2 count as Banks breaks up the pinfall. Banks and Bayley both go down again as the Iconics show off. Flair tags in and kicks the Iconics. Flair launches Royce over her head. Flair misses Banks and Bayley as they jump back off the apron as she charges. Flair decks Kay, and then comes Asuka off of a tag. Asuka and Flair have some tension over the tag. Asuka unloads to Kay, but Flair tags herself back in and argues some more. Flair unloads on Kay, more back and forth. Flair levels Kay with a big boot. Flair goes to the top for a moonsault, telling Asuka to watch how it's done. Asuka tags herself in and runs over to apply the Asuka lock on Kay while Flair is up top. Kay taps for the finish. Winners the match, Asuka and Flair. After the match, Asuka's music hit as she and Flair face off in the middle ring. Asuka raises her title in Flair's face. Flair comes back and runs over Asuka with a clothesline as boos pick up. Flair taunts Asuka with her own title, raises it in the air while she's down. Flair taunts Asuka and says she's never defeated her. Flair's music hits and then she drops the title over Asuka. Still to come segment, Rey Mysterio would appear. We get a video package showing recent happenings with Rollins and his stable versus Rey, Aleister Black, and Humberto Carrillo. We see Rey preparing to join the announcers for a follow-up interview from home later on. Music interrupts and the announcers, and out comes Seth Rollins to boos. He's all alone. Rollins takes his time, walking to ringside, motions for Saxon to give up his headset. Saxon hands it over to Rollins as he leaves. Rollins takes a seat and says he wouldn't miss this. Rollins says hi to Rey, who is live by satellite from home. Rey calls Rollins a son of a B word. Rollins is all smiles, and we go back to commercial. Back to Rey. Rey tells Tom that he saw his doctor this morning, and while the doc didn't make any promises, things are looking up, recovering, but further damage is possible. Ray still doesn't know when he's be able to compete, but here's a warning. He threatens Rollins with a 619 as soon as he's able to deliver one. Ray says Rollins will pay for what he did to his family, what he's putting his family through. He's going to kick Rollins' butt. Rollins fires back about Ray spreading misinformation. He gave Ray the chance to walk away, a legend, and wants to give Ray one more chance. Rollins personally invites Ray and his son Dominic to come to Raw next week so he can show them face to face that the sacrifice he's made is for the greater good. Ray knows Rollins only wants him here because he's not cleared. Ray says when he is cleared, Rollins and the whole world will know about it. Rollins says Ray has this all wrong. As soon as Rollins suddenly gets his head knocked off out of nowhere as Aleister Black attacks while Rollins is seated at the announce table. And we cut to commercial. Austin Theory and Murphy versus Humberto Carrillo and Aleister Black. Back to the break, and we got tag team action. Austin Theory and Humberto Carrillo go at it to start. Murphy and Aleister Black watch from the apron. Theory levels Carrillo early on for a quick pin attempt. Theory pounds on Carrillo. Carrillo gets free and tags in Black. Murphy also tags in and unloads with strikes on Black. Black comes back with a strike of his own. Black avoids Murphy's law and rolls him up for a 2 count. Black with more strikes and a big moonsault Black readies for the Black Mass on Murphy, but Theory runs in. Black takes him out and sends him to the floor. Carrillo runs the ropes and dives out, sending Theory into the barrier. Black with a 2 count on Murphy. Murphy looks to mount more offense and goes to the top, but Black runs up with a big kick to the head for the pin to win out of nowhere. Humberto Carrillo and Alistair Black won the match. After the match, raised music and video starts back up. But out comes Seth Rollins with a mask on. Black and Carrillo are distracted, allowing Theory and Murphy to attack from behind. Rollins joins in for the triple team. Theory drops Carrillo with the ATL. Rollins yells at Black while Murphy holds him and delivers a knee to the face. They take turns on Black some more after Carrillo gets sent to the floor. Rollins works Black over and barks at Murphy and Theory to keep beating on him. Rollins yells in Black's face while they hold him, and then delivers a stomp while they hold him down. Rollins stands tall in the middle of the ring, raises the arms of Murphy and Theory as the music hits. Black is down face first on the mat. Rollins picks up the Ray mask and stares at it. Charlie Caruso backstage with Randy Orton, asking him about the match with Edge and Backlash. The only question Orton wants answered is if Edge will be the only guest on the Pete show. He is. And is that next? It is. Orton has a look, and Charlie asks him why. Orton says he thinks there may be 2 guests on the Pete show. We go back to the ring. Out comes Christian, making his Raw return to host the Pete show. Christian hits a corner to pose as the fans cheer him on. Back commercial. Back from the break, Christian wants to get right to it, ahead of what might be the greatest wrestling match ever. Here is WWE Hall of Famer Edge. The music hits, and out comes Edge as Tom hypes Edge versus Orton at Backlash. Edge takes a seat with his good friend in the middle of the ring. Christian mentions being excited for Edge's recent return, but to be honest, he thinks Edge is running on fumes. Edge looks a bit surprised at the comments. You still got it, champ breaks up from the crowd. Christian says the greatest wrestling match ever. He doesn't even think Edge could pull this off in his prime. Crowd boos some. Christian says they are best friends and have to be brutally honest with each other. Christian says these are some lofty expectations, and Edge is lying to himself if he thinks he can deliver on that. He thinks Edge is buckling under pressure. Edge asks Christian if he's thought what it's like to be in his shoes, or what he's going through when he hasn't been in a straight up wrestling match in 9 years. And now it's being called the greatest ever. Edge says, pardon him if this Edge feels a bit different or has some self-doubt. This isn't the same Edge that used to look in Christian's face to help him when he doubted himself before going out for their matches. They go on, and Edge mentions excuses. Christian stands up and says, that's why he's here. Excuses. He gets louder with Edge now, and Edge also stands up. Christian asks, what happened to Edge, and where is his belief? Christian knew someone who used to be there for Edge and believe in him, his late mother. She was there for all your big matches, and she'll be here for this one, even if you think she's not. Christian gets intense with some motivation as Edge stares him down. Christian smiles and says, there's what he was looking for. There's those eyes of Edge. Christian goes on about believing in Edge and seeing it in his eyes. When he put Orton down at WrestleMania 36, Christian says they believe in Edge, that they think he can do it. They think he can have the greatest wrestling match ever. He goes on until Orton appears on the big screen. Orton begs them to shut the heck up and says if he's going to be sick, it has to listen to them spew this crap any longer. Orton goes on running Edge down about how he's going to embarrass and break Edge until he's being sent back home to be with his wife and daughters. Edge just stares straight ahead, and Orton just keeps ranting. Orton says the redemption of Edge is over this Sunday at Backlash. Edge says no, it's not. He drops the mic and exits the ring, heading to the back as his music starts up. Edge stops on the ramp, looks back at Christian in the ring. He keeps walking to the back now. Still to come segment, VIP Lounge with the MVP and guest Bobby Lashley. We see what happened last week when WWE Champion Drew McIntyre was attacked by Lashley right after he beat MVP as Raw was going off the air. Charlie's backstage with the MVP now, asking her perspective on what happened last week as Raw went off the air. MVP says Lashley will use that same full nothing to win the WWE title this Sunday. But if she wants a detailed breakdown, she has to wait until the VIP Lounge tonight. 24/7 champion R-Truth makes his making noise off to the side. MVP is impressed. Truth goes on about beating Rob Gronkowski last week, but of course he gets the names all mixed up. Truth tells MVP to look out for him and tell anyone who asks that he hasn't seen him MVP calls Truth a clown. Truth just wants MVP to look out if someone comes looking for him. Lashley suddenly comes from behind and applies a full Nelson to take Truth down. We'll go to commercial. Back for the break. We see what just happened. Truth, Viking Raiders versus Lashley, and MVP will take place later on. We get a video package on anything you can do, we can do better challenge between Raw Tag Team Champions and Street Profits and Viking Raiders. Cut to a video recorded earlier in the day of the decathlon between the two teams. 1,600 meter dash and archery are first, and the competition is 1-on-1. Profits choose flip, cup, or beer pong next, and they win. Vikings select sword fighting next. Montez Ford forfeits. Hurdles is next. Vikings run through it, and it's now 3-2. Stick fighting is next, and the Profits lose. A dance-off is next. Ford dances to the music of the Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels. Ivar dances to Fandango's music, and then starts dancing with the female judge. Profits still win. Shot put is next. Vikings choose turkey leg eating next. Vikings win. It's now 5-4. With the champs up, pole vaulting is next as Ford hits a big jump. Ivar is next and also nails it to tie it 5-5. Two teams argue after the tie. Jump with that for the number one contender. Chip to the U.S. title. Kevin Owens versus Andrade versus Angel Garza. We go back to ring. Out comes the U.S. champion Apollo Crews for his non-title match. Crews poses in the corner as we see highlights from last week's match with Kevin Owens, which was interrupted by an attack from Angel Garza and Andrade. This led to a tag match, which Crews won for his team by pinning Andrade. Crews takes the mic, says he's so excited to defend his U.S. title at Backlash against the winner of this triple threat, Garza versus Andrade versus Owens. Crews goes to speak, but Andrade's music interrupts, and out he comes with Garza and Zelina Vega. Owens suddenly attacks Garza and Andrade on the ramp for a big pop. Vega screams out as Owens destroys both competitors on the outside. A hyped up Owens hits the ring and tells them to bring it as we go to commercial. Back for the break, the bell rings and they go at it. Owens gets beat down. There's a tease of some tension between the two, but they beat Owens down again. Garza tosses his tights as usual, and Andrade almost takes a pin on Owens. Owens finally fights back, swinging on both competitors, but the double team shuts him back down on the ropes. Vega applauds. Owens tries to fight out of the corner, but they beat him down again. We see Crews watching backstage as Andrade grounds Owens while Garza works on his leg. Vega cheers them on as they wear Owens down some more. Owens blocks a double suplex, but they end up hitting it. Andrade with a 2 count as Garza breaks it up. Garza and Andrade have words. Andrade shoves first. Garza shoves back. They start brawling it to the floor now. Vega yells at them as they send each other into the plexiglass barrier. Vega tries to get in between them, but she gets knocked down. They yell at each other, but stop to check on Vega while she's down. Back to commercial. Back to the break. Garza climbs up top with Owens, and they trade shots. Owens blocks a superplex. Owens elbows Garza to the mat and hits a big top rope senton, but Andrade breaks a pin. Just in time. We see how trainers help Vega to the back during the commercial break. Owens has Andrade on his back now. Owens drops back, but a senton onto Garza with Andrade on his back. Owens with a corner cannonball to each competitor. He misses the next, and Andrade moves. Andrade with a running knees to both competitors. He runs into Garza's super kick next. Owens super kick, Garza. Owens goes back to the top for a frog splash to Andrade, but Andrade kicks out just in time. We see Cruz backstage watching the match. Owens goes for a pop-up powerbomb on Andrade, but it's blocked. Andrade levels Owens with a big back elbow, but he kicks out too. Andrade kicks Garza down on the apron. Garza lifts Owens' butt. Owens counters the tackle, and Garza nails a missile drop kick to Owens. Andrade and Garza have words in the middle of the ring, then start unloading on each other with big strikes. Andrade and Garza both tumble to the floor. Owens runs the ropes and leaps out over the top, taking down both competitors on the floor. Owens brings Garza back in the ring. Owens goes for the stunner, but it's blocked. Garza drops Owens with a big shot to the leg. Garza with a submission on Owens' injured leg. Owens crawls for the bottom rope and finally makes it to break the hold. Garza goes for the wing clipper, but Owens blocks it and ends up hitting his stunner. Andrade runs in, breaks the pin up by drop kicking Owens off of Garza. Andrade then steals the pin on Garza for the win to earn the title shot. Winner and new number one contenders to Apollo Crews Andrade. After the match, Andrade stands tall when the music plays. We go to replays. We see what happened with Asuka and Charlotte from earlier. Sarah Schreiber is backstage with Flair now. She insists she didn't really lose, get pinned, or submit at TakeOver in her house last night. She goes on about really succeeding at TakeOver as she elevated the title and the brand. Now she's back to the main eventing Raw. She goes on with the promo, but Asuka comes in dancing. Flair asks her if she's ever takes anything seriously. Asuka says she does. She slaps Flair in the face and then sends her down to one knee. Asuka slowly walks off as Flair wipes her mouth in shock like commercial. Back from the break, we see Andrade and Angel Garza arguing over what happened and who hurt Zelina. She appears clutching her neck and don't speak when they ask if she's okay. She just points ahead and they start walking away. Tom sends us to a video of Hall of Famer Kurt Angle giving his opinion on Edge versus Orton at Backlash. Angle has stood toe-to-toe with both men, and he thinks that they can both rise to the occasion, but he believes Edge will win. It wasn't an easy decision, but he can't bet against a fellow Hall of Famer. Viking Raiders shown backstage, asking someone if he's decided on joining the raid or not. It's WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. They do some comedy, and Drew looks ahead to the post-Raw celebration. If they win, they can win tonight. And says he will have turkey legs for Eric and Ivar. Ivar likes the idea of this. Drew says they might want to stick around and watch what happens on the VIP lounge. Drew walks off and goes to commercial. Back with break, 24/7 champion, R-Truth. U.S. champion Apollo Crews and WWE Hall of Famer Edge are announced for tonight's Raw Talk on the WWE Network. We go to ring. MVP is out for another edition of the VIP Lounge. MVP welcomes everyone and starts praising his guests for tonight, saying he has the single most devastating move in WWE. MVP goes to bring Bobby Lashley out, but the music interrupts and out comes WWE Champion Drew McIntyre. MVP is surprised. The crowd chants for Drew as he hits the ring. Drew jokes around that MVP was giving him a grand introduction. MVP tries to speak up, but Drew keeps on, raising the WWE title in the air. MVP says they are not friends, but more importantly, why is Drew here? Drew couldn't help but notice Lashley and Lana were having an issue backstage, and he knows MVP is about to bring them out. Drew knows MVP was about to start bragging on him and his Claymore kick. So continue on. MVP says no. He was about to talk about Lashley and his full Nelson. Drew says he's still feeling last week's full Nelson. Drew says MVP doesn't know about the full Nelson, but he knows about the Claymore as he's taken several lately. MVP then says this is all part of his business plan, which will accumulate this Sunday when Lashley ragdolls Drew again and wins the WWE title. Drew jokes that MVP is going to show Lashley the secret to all those WWE World titles wins he's had. Drew is tired of talking. He's joining to give us a countdown. He then kicks MVP in the face. He can take it like a man or get chased down and beaten up anyway. Drew counts, but Lashley comes from behind in the ring. They face off. Drew says this is how it's going to go. Drew raises the title and cuts a promo on Backlash. He turns out of nowhere and drops MVP with a Glasgow Kiss headbutt as Lashley watches. Music hits and out comes Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar. They have Raw Tag Team Champions, Street Profits with them, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Lashley and MVP regroup at ringside as we do Drew and the others. Back commercial. MVP and Bobby Lashley versus Viking Raiders. Back from the break. And we got Bobby Lashley going at it with Ivar to start. Lashley unloads with a fight liner for a 2 count. MVP tags in for offense on Ivar in the corner, unloading as referee warns him. WWE Champion Drew McIntyre watches from a chair at ringside. Raw Tag Team Champions Street Profits are also watching from ringside. Lashley comes back in and works over Ivar, but Ivar turns it around. We see Lana watching backstage as MVP tags back in, and Lashley gets rocked. Eric comes back in to keep up the attack on MVP in the corner. Eric rocks MVP in the corner with strikes. Ivar tags back in with big thrusts in the corner. Ivar grabs MVP by his arm. Eric tags in for a big double team to MVP. Lashley comes back in but fights Eric off and drives him down for a 2 count. Lashley mounts Eric with punches down. Lashley beats Eric back down in the corner and tags MVP back in for no more of the same. Drew is all smiles at ringside, taunting the heels. MVP with a big kick to the back of Eric and a low drop kick for a 2 count. And then another. MVP shows frustration and covers for a 2 count. MVP grounds Eric by his shoulder now. Lashley and MVP manhandle Eric near the corner, keeping him down as the referee warns them. MVP tags back in for a double suplex, and they nail it. MVP covers for a 2 count. Eric ends up leveling Lashley with a big right. Ivar tags in as does MVP. Ivar drops MVP and unloads while he's down, stopping to yell out. Ivar gets dicked in the corner as MVP moves. Lashley tags back in, but Ivar sends him to the floor with a big boot after an impressive counter. Lashley sends Ivar face first in the announce table. Lashley and MVP have words with Street Profits at ringside. Ivar flies over at them and takes MVP and Lashley down next to the announcers. Back to commercial. Back for the break. Eric has Lashley grounded by his arm in the ring after the earlier chaos at ringside. Eric takes it to the corner and Ivar tags back in to keep the attack going. Ivar grounds Lashley. Lashley breaks free with a big clothesline. Lashley with a big corner shot, followed by MVP with a big running boot to Ivar in the corner. MVP counters, covers for a 2 count. MVP with another pin attempt, but no luck. We see Lana watching backstage now. Charlie Caruso asks if it bothers her that her husband asks her to stay backstage during his matches. She yells at MVP leech, calls MVP a leech, but don't. She will respect her husband's wishes because they will be champion soon. Lana says she's been focusing on her marriage and now wants to focus on herself and make 2020 the year of Lana. We see Lashley ground Ivar in the ring again as Drew stares him down. Lashley catches Ivar with a big power slam for a close 2 count. Lashley keeps up the attack going on Ivar, and then comes MVP again. MVP pounds on Ivar with a kidney shot in the corner. Ivar fights out of the corner, but MVP rocks him with back to one knee. Ivar finally tags in Eric, who blasts MVP and unloads on him with strikes in the middle of the ring. Eric also knocks Lashley off the apron. MVP charges, but Eric catches him with a big overhead suplex for a pop from everyone, including the prophets at ringside. Ivar tags back in for the big double team sequence on MVP in the corner. Eric then nails a hammer of Thor with Ivar on MVP in the corner. Lashley breaks up Eric's pin. Ivar sends Lashley to the floor. Lashley and Drew have a moment at ringside after Lashley bumps into him. Lashley runs right past Drew and hits a spear on Ivar on the floor. Drew and Lashley stare each other. More back and forth between the two teams. Now, Eric levels MVP in the ring and yells down at him. Lashley runs back in and applies the full Nelson to Eric from behind. Lashley manhandles Eric for a few seconds to get the win. After the match, MVP and Lashley stand tall in the ring as Drew looks on from outside. Ivar runs in and slugs MVP to the mat while Drew and Lashley are staring at each other while Drew is still on the outside. Lashley turns around and applies a full Nelson on Ivar. Drew ends up running in and breaking the hold with a big Claymore kick, sending Lashley out of the ring, but still on his feet. Drew stands tall with his title as his music hits, taunting Lashley and warning him for Backlash. Still to come segment, Flair versus Asuka, back commercial. Back to the right, announcers go over the Backlash card for Sunday. Asuka versus Flair. We go to the ring for tonight's non-title main event. As Raw Women's Champion, Asuka makes her way out. Charlotte was out next. The bell rings and the music interrupts like earlier. Out comes WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, Sasha Banks and Bayley. Flair takes advantage of the distraction and drops Asuka. Bayley and Banks join the announcers on commentary. Asuka fights in from the apron and kicks Flair in the back of the neck. Flair takes Asuka to the corner and unloads with shoulder thrust. Asuka fights out but misses a drop kick. Flair goes for a kick, but Asuka catches it, controls her by the leg. Flair drops Asuka and gets free with a shot to the jaw. Flair levels Asuka with a big kick to the face, now for some moves. Flair brings Asuka out and launches her over the announce table. We got a commercial. Back for the break. They're going at it on the floor. Asuka counters and kicks Flair. They bring it back in and go at it. Flair catches a hip attack. Asuka with strikes. Asuka catches Flair with a big submission in the middle of the ring. More back and forth between the two. Flair with a big drop kick for a 2 count in the middle of the ring. We see what happens. We see the Iconics watching on the other side of the barrier. Flair manhandles Asuka now, slamming her face to the mat while talking some trash. Flair smashes Asuka's face into the mat repeatedly with her boot. Flair manhandles Asuka some more on the mat and drives knees into her back. Flair keeps Asuka grounded. Now, Flair is warned about the handful of hair, but she rocks Asuka again and poses for some moves. Flair takes Asuka to the apron and drives high knees into her. Asuka lands on the floor for a breather. Flair goes for a baseball slide, but Asuka moves. Asuka goes back in and nails the dragon screw leg whip. Flair is on the outside now, struggling. Asuka nails a big hip attack into the barrier. Flair comes back and rocks Asuka against the barrier. Flair brings her back in the ring and drops the knee to Asuka. Flair drops another exposed knee and grounds Asuka with a headlock. Flair keeps control, but Asuka blocks the suplex and rolls her up for a 2 count. Flair comes right back with a big clothesline for another clothespin attempt. More back and forth. Flair beats Asuka back to the outside and talks some trash to her and the camera. The referee counts as they trade strikes against the apron. Asuka unloads and takes her leg out. They roll back in, and Asuka screams out for a pop in pain. Asuka goes to the top as the fan chant for her. Flair runs and knocks Asuka from the top to the floor with a huge big boot. Iconics suddenly attack Banks and Bayley at ringside, destroying them with ease. They drop Bayley on the top of the announce table with a fall from grace. Go to commercial. Back for the break. Flair is chopping Asuka in the ring. Asuka tries to fight, but Flair drops her with a chop Asuka mounts offense and drops Flair with a hip attack for a 2 count. Asuka with more offense and an armbar. Flair fights out and mounts Asuka with a big elbow strike. Flair scoops Asuka, but she gets free. Flair catches another hip attack and nails belly to back suplex for a close 2 count. Flair is showing frustration now. Flair keeps the choke and chokes Asuka with the ropes now as referee counts. Flair grounds Asuka with a headlock in the middle of the ring now. The crowd tries to rally for Asuka. She fights up and out, but Flair takes her right back down to the mat. Flair continues to keep shutting Asuka down and taking her time. Asuka drops Flair with another big drop kick out of the corner. Asuka dodges a big boot and drops Flair on her head with a German suplex. Asuka with a hip attack in the corner. Now, Asuka delivers kicks and knocks Flair to the floor with another hip attack right in front of the announcers. Flair rams Asuka back into the apron. As she comes out, Asuka with a sliding knee to Flair's face from the edge of the apron. Asuka and Flair tangle some on the apron. Now, as Flair blocks moves, Flair drops Asuka with a big boot on the apron. Flair goes up top of the barrier now at ringside to deliver a big moonsault. Asuka goes back down on the floor as the referee counts. Flair brings Asuka back in the ring as a "This is Awesome" chant breaks out from the crowd. Flair wraps Asuka's leg around the ring post a few times. Asuka pulls Flair into the post. Flair fights in from the apron and dodges a hip attack. Flair comes right back with another big boot for another 2 count on Asuka as the main event just drags on with more of the same. Flair goes for the figure 4, but Asuka kicks her away. Flair goes for the spear, but Asuka gets her knees up to the face of Flair. Flair kicks out at 2. Flair blocks Asuka lock on the mat as they tackle some more. Flair gets free, but Asuka kicks her away with shots to the face. Flair comes right back with a spear for another 2 count. They get up and trade strikes once again. Asuka tries to take Flair down to the armbar. Flair fights off the Asuka lock, ramming Asuka back into the corner. Asuka with a big kick to the head. Nia Jax runs down, but Asuka meets her on the apron with strikes to stun her. Asuka sends Jax to the floor with a hip attack. Flair takes advantage and levels Asuka with a huge boot for the pin to get the non-title win. After the match, Jax looks on as we go to replays. Flair poses in the corner as the music plays. Jax enters the ring, hits Asuka with a Samoan drop while Flair watches. Jax's music hits as she backs up the ramp as the announcers plug Jax versus Asuka for the title at Backlash on Sunday. Raw goes off the air with Jax staring back at the ring. And that concludes my results for Raw for this week. Thanks for giving me a shout. See you one of you. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.